Hello and good evening. My name is John. We're here playing a work of fiction. We're also playing Thin Red... Where is it? Thin Red Lie. No? Wait, no, that's not right. We're playing Little Red Lie. It's part of my Steam cleaning series. I go through every game in my Steam library, eventually, then arbitrarily rate and review them after just a wee bit of playtime. Now, I have a basic understanding of what this game is, but I have not yet played it. So we're going to jump in and give it a whirl. New game. Before you begin, would you be willing to answer a brief questionnaire regarding confidential details of your personal and family finances? Your answer will be securely saved and stored, but influence several narrative events in the game. We'll see. Thank you. In previous year, personal income was in excess of 55,000 USD, including any funds transferred. Yes. Is this income a result of criminal activity or assets inherited by you? No, I work. Would you rather commit suicide than limit civic polity? No. Thank you. Little Red Lie is now in possession of sufficient information about you to proceed. Would you like to continue? Yes. In Dystopia! Come to Glorious Dystopia by Sara and Stone. Is that the song? The way I see it, dystopia is nothing but a distraction from reality that will be even worse. In Dystopia, faceless stormtroopers tower the horrified masses as they cling together for warmth. The guardsmen grit their teeth and pull triggers on throngs of desperate protesters, cutting down waves of innocence with sinister certainty. But in reality is nothing like that. In reality, the police don't need to be scary to scare you. In reality, the courts are so clogged and the cops are so callous and the cage is so cramped that the thought of getting lost in the labyrinth of the logistics scares you more than a bullet to the back of the head ever could. In reality, nobody needs to shoot you at all. You get knocked on your ass by a $1 zillion sound cannon and run away to save the eardrums you don't have the savings or health insurance to lose. In Dystopia, tattered rags or drab uniforms are dutifully worn by all. Met eyes and encoded gestures are made in shadows that the steel doors crush together. Ragtag rebels rediscover the unity of long-lost ethnic ideals, identities, and each other they find hope, strength. And even if their failure is assured, in Dystopia they gain the one thing their tormentors can never possess: love. But in reality, the only people who ever notice you are strangers trying to look down your shirt. In reality, your best friend is a cell phone. A good one, if you're lucky. In reality, you never cared about other people until the people were other people like you. And you put them up with the river if they crashed on your couch for longer than a weekend. And who can you blame? In Dystopia, it's easy. In Dystopia, the evil and cruel are always up the hill, down the dungeon, through the woods. They want your blood. They want your babies. They want your brainwaves, or the shells of your bodies. The heat of your sexy, starving orifices. Reality is never that interesting. In reality, even the most horrible and seemingly incomprehensible powers always end up being the same old song. A bunch of assholes trying to get rich. It's true. In reality, people frankly assessed with money are never those people at all. In reality, the people whose whole lives revolve around the money are the people who have no choice, because they don't have any. And in reality, the wealthy no longer need a thing from anyone else at all. Not to die in some war, not to live in some place, and not to build something that a robot has built in the time it took you to read this sentence. And in Dystopia, all of our creations churn midnight oil in a hateful sun. Disease boils through the skin. Faces are rendered tragically ineffable. The destruction of Mother Earth turns everyone into a chimney sweep, a hooded nightmare, and an asphyxiating tinker. But in reality, the sky is blue as ever, the air is fever crisp, and the bright stars within it are what you look upon while you wait for an ambulance after being stabbed over an apple that now costs $20. In Dystopia, your only possessions are a toned photograph. You end up bartering at a neon-soaked nightclub for futuristic gangsters. But in reality, you could never get that job. And if you were forced to become an outlaw yourself, you'd probably end up being a victim of far worse crime than you ever bring yourself to commit. In Dystopia, you finally matter. You're finally going to make a difference. Every oppression ignites you with an anger and fury that spurs you into legendary action. But in reality, you are exhausted. Forever. Forever exhausted. You think dystopia is some big story? It's not. It's just a shiny epilogue that goes on forever. It all ends up in nothing. Winter. Kennedy Station. Under the bridge. In the parking lot. They're waiting for me. Move, lie, highlight menu. Okay. Lie about gig economy. Whenever people ask me if I take taxis or use ride-sharing service, I realize that taxi cabs are more compensational compassionate answer. Why can't I read that word? Whether it's true or not. The joke is on them, though. I can't afford to take either anymore. I'm just willing to argue about it because at least it makes me seem middle class. A nervous-looking rideshare guy. He doesn't want a cab behind him to realize what he's doing. Ride-sharing always felt strange to me. I sort of prefer how taxi drivers don't pretend to give an S about you. It was the worst when ride-sharing apps started asking you to make all those bullcrap humane personal commitments about your drivers. Personal comments. As if talking about a close friend rather than someone who struggles, you were exploiting. Maybe it just bothers me to have to push in my face. Lie about public transit. I know public transit sucks, but the government sucks. I don't hate everyday people who run the system. Not even when I'm running after a bus in the freezing cold and they don't see me because they're too busy looking up disability scams on their phones instead of watching the road. Okay. Let's lie about traffic cones. Lie about leaving Toronto. Well, I made it out. They don't knock the never-ending construction... Knock off the never... If they don't knock the never-ending construction in the city off, I'm leaving someday. I'll move to... Where's Edmonton? Where? Oh, I'll move to Vancouver. I swear to God. I don't care what it costs. It'll take 2 hours to get anywhere now. Ooh, I don't know if I can do all these letters. Social causes, mainstream entertainment, global markets, lurid crime. Drugs and thugs. The new gang war? Ah, you gotta love it. The legal assumption of innocence is held, but the classic dog whistles are in there. A mugshot instead of a real photo. A note of the murder was known to the police. Even the more subtle stuff. Interviews with friends talking about how much he was turning his life around, and an up-and-coming musician. They don't even have to mention rap anymore. 22 years old, deeply mourned by his 4 young children. This rag designed to piss people off disguised as newspaper. I'll actually buy it. Might make a good distraction. Price has gone up a quarter, too. Everything hurts. Global markets. Mainstream entertainment. Award night flub sends celebrities reeling. It's a local free paper. Tons of reductionist nonsense and celebrity clap. I don't find it interesting at all. Tax credits to stimulate new business and job growth. Yeah, sure they will. Yeah. Trickle down, am I right? Homeless death spikes in downtown core. You know, it would actually cost less to house people than to pay the cost of them being on the street. I can't understand why people get upset at the idea of free housing. Nobody will pick this up. You still get it delivered. I know that one. There's no way I can answer with these people if I don't have a cigarette first. And I don't want to start a conversation on a note of why I started smoking. You can smoke in the rain like every other failure of a femme fatale, Sarah. Even if you're already something like a half a pack a day. Concealed chain smoking. Press X to highlight updated interactions. Alright, I'll have the cigarette. There's an ashtray over there by the corner. And then I'll use that washroom to try to mask it best I can. You know what they say? The only way to start quitting is to have one. Snow on the ground, rain in the sky, heat in the night. We figured they were lying about how long this kind of climate change would take. And then it turns out even worse pessimism wasn't half as bad as it already was. Who knows? Maybe this cigarette is the least toxic thing I've inhaled all day. Still, if I could quit, I would. Too bad you only feel bad after it stops feeling good. Maybe that attitude is a little piece of what happened to everything. F it. I don't even want this. I'm just delaying the inevitable. I have to tell them the truth. Tonight is the night. I don't think I'm going to tell them the truth. Lie about being disgusting. We got a toothbrush, perfume gum, that should do it. Or at least well enough to be able to say it secondhand. The thought of someone actually using one of these toilets is unimaginable. God, I have to quit. Look at my fingers, my teeth. Real reason that they try to hook you up so young as they can have me before you're even capable of imagining what it looks like. This crap, what looking like crap would look like. Vroom. All right, I think I'm good. Before You Know It, by Sara Stone. Before you know it, you feel like you're right back where you started. Back at home, back to childhood, back to depending on people who should be depending on you. And you're so defined by what you're not. Never married, never successful, never belonging anywhere or to anything. You don't even know who you are. Still, it's strange to be past what feels like the point of no return and still be so far from the end. ... Thanks for coming to get me. You were working late. Everyone works late now. Yeah, big project. They can't really trust too many people with it. I understand that I broke the chain, that without creating a future for it, even the closest family will eventually run out of things to talk about. I'll ask a question about some distant relative or a restaurant we haven't been to in a long time, just to break up the rhythm of the rain. But I don't really care, and I don't think they believe I do. The saddest thing, though, is that I think I'm used to, at least a bit. You just don't see the point. I mean, what does it have to do with you? Literally nothing that goes on around you has anything to do with you at all. You're just a sack of crap dragging yourself around from one day to the next. What can you even say about anything that wouldn't make you look like a fool? But still, you have to say something. Even if it means pretending to be someone you used to be in order to hide you no longer feel like you are anyone at all. What are your plans for the weekend? Faint interest in own life. Sorry, what? The weekend. What are you doing? Oh. Sleeping and eating. I'll probably get coffee with Claire and Steve. I'm pretty tired, though. You know, you're a loser when basic questions about what you're doing on the weekend feel like humiliating interrogations. Well, maybe you should go somewhere new. Meet some new people. I don't think people younger than me. I'm embarrassed around regular people my own age. And everyone older than me weirds me the F out. Everyone older than me weirds me the F out. Yeah, you're right. I just even things going on in the city. I really miss going to concerts. ... Sometimes we'll pull up next to a car at an intersection, and I'll look over to see another 38-year-old woman, one who isn't sitting in the backseat of a car being driven by her elderly parents. She'll seem powerful, yelling and waving her arms at someone at some kind of conference call, or dressed up looking like she's heading out for the night, or listening to her kids tell her what they did at school. But as soon as she looks back, I look away. I don't want to see the type of person I wish I could be, see me wishing I could be them. And the worst of all is how the space and silence that should be my life gets filled up with guilt instead. Filled up with unspoken sounds how much they've done for me, how much they've sacrificed so I could be somebody. And here I am. And sure, I could tell you I love them for it, but what would it matter if I did? There isn't a single thing my love can do. I won't survive without my parents, but at least they're the only people who ever care if I'm alive. Even care if I'm alive. You can't have less to lose than that. I've done this drive. It's a long drive. What did you eat today, Sarah? Helpless. They treat me like I'm helpless. And I couldn't contradict them if I wanted to. I'm starving. I had a salad with chicken and a granola bar. We have leftovers, if you want. All right. Maybe a bit. Sarah? Hold on a second. The way he said that, what does he know? What could he know? Is something wrong? We need to talk. Mom, a relapse, but she seemed fine. She was never fine when I came back. My sister, it must be my sister. Dad, stop being cryptic. Just tell me. Your mother is worried. About what? What happened with her this time? The way he exhales now. The moment he even thinks about her. Your sister is beyond worrying about, Sarah. Mom is worried about you. Ah, Jesus Christ. He knew I wouldn't think it was a relapse. He always does that, say half of something, and pretends it's just his personality. I'm fine. She thinks you work too much. She thinks I'm a lesbian, or too much of a slut to be taken serious, or not enough of one to find someone in the first place. She thinks I'm a lesbian. I don't know what that means. She means she wants you to be happy. That your happiness is more important to her than anything else. And she's dying, the unsaid thing always, with all the weight it carries, and she's dying. I'm trying. And your sister, you know she's going to need your help. And you know it won't be easy. If you had someone that you could turn to when things got tough with her, it might make all the difference. He always says this, knowing I'll defend her. He wants to hear someone do it, even if he feels like I can't. He wants to hear somebody do it. She doesn't need me as much as you think she does. She's more capable than you know. ... She is. You've always been just like me. You're strong. You don't complain. And you've never been afraid of responsibility. But sometimes I think you can't see there's more to being strong than being on your own. This has got to be something more than my romantic life. But what? Why now? What you don't see is that I would have never been strong enough to take care of everything without your mother. Or your sister. Or you. I know I make it seem that way. It isn't that way at all. It's family, Sarah. Family. Anyway, I think that's what your mother wants you to know. Is that it? I couldn't tell by the way he locked his eyes with me in the rearview mirror. Was it intimidation? Fear? Pity? It's hard to read your parents as people. You don't want to do it. No matter how old you get, you want to believe nothing could shake them. No, that isn't it. I have to tell you something important. I don't want you to say anything about to your mom. Not yet. Cancer, that's what got his mom. Heart failure, grandpa. Alzheimer's runs all the way through his family. Just tell me. We can't afford to take care of your sister anymore. Huh? What did she do? Isn't just her. The medications cost her mom. They just keep going up. What else did they put her on? I don't even know anymore. Between the two of them, it's a mountain. And are they even helping? Is there any point, now that you can ask that, are they even helping? I'm sure they're helping, the doctors say so. We'll get through it. Your sister doesn't listen to me, Sarah. At the very least, I need you to get her to stop buying whatever she feels like off the internet. I'm not trying to pit you against her, but if she doesn't knock it off, we won't have any choice but to start charging you rent. Oh. It's the last thing I want to do. I know you're working your tail off trying to get your life back on track, but things are that serious. And maybe, if you can put it to her like that, if she knows how hard you're working to rebuild, maybe some of that attitude will rub off on her. Maybe. I mean it, Sarah. You've done everything you could, despite how tough things are out there. I know how much it must hurt to move home and rent out your own condo. I sold the condo. I was renting it myself with a roommate you never met, until I couldn't afford it. I sold the condo. I don't miss it. I was lonely there. But you still own it. And it still is Toronto. And you still got the equity from the down payment, plus all the years you paid into the mortgage. I borrowed against all that equity years ago, not to mention how much profit I had used to sell it. Not to mention how much of the profit I had to use to sell it. All of which is long gone. Yeah, I'm sure the appreciation is still going strong. I checked a while ago. I think about all these kids your age that I read in the newspaper. The ones who not only didn't save, but got buried under mountains of debt that they should never have taken on in the first place. I owe $30,000 to my credit card. Yeah, it isn't worth to pay all that interest anyway. Exactly. We paid off your sister's nonsense for years, but not once have you ever come to us to borrow anything. That's because I was going to do it tonight, because I'm officially at the end of my rope. The only thing I've ever had was too much pride to tell you. I couldn't live with myself. I screwed up your retirement. You and your mom worked so hard for everything you have. So have you. You get up in the morning, you get dressed, and you do it. You do the work. I know they never appreciate you the way they should, but they will. You're too good to ignore. I lost my job 6 months ago. I sit in Path Cafe all day dressed for interviews. Jobs with 100 applicants who are far more exploitable. As long as I'm getting paid something, I can manage. Being noticed isn't always for the best, though. Well, if they don't come around, somebody else will. And I'm hoping that your sister will too. She needs it more than anyone. I can't help her, I can't help you, I can't help anyone. I'll do my best. You always have. I'm proud of you, Sarah. Guilt. So much guilt. More guilt. Late title card, Little Red Lie. It's a rough start. Brutal. Before you blow your brains out over some attractive upper middle class white woman just because you would F her brains out, I was thinking, maybe we could take a moment to talk about the things she told you. Talk about the things people like her will never tell you. The Money by Arthur Fox. You know her. Overeducated, underemployed, bringing it to 40, bridging it into 40 with no real prospects, no real anything. And then one day, a bill finally comes that arrives that cannot be paid, one which even the family that made her feel invincible all her life can no longer bear. And then it all falls down. Then comes self-pity, the woe is me, the toxic, dishonest belief that even if you had a shot, you never had a chance. Let me ask you something. Where was this person 5 years ago? I'll tell you where they were. They were pretending they never saw it coming. They were racking up debt, desperately hoping they would never lose imaginary face with kombucha sipping kombucha sipping celebrities?
Yep.
Okay. 10 years ago, they were blowing every cent they made or could borrow in service to a hashtag. Shoes, travel, asinine brunches. 15 years ago? Forget it. Laughing up in the hollow halls of higher learning. Acting that they were somehow smart enough to get a degree in anthropology, but not smart enough to know they were digging their own graves. And now? Now they want the world to feel sorry for them. So they won't tell you about what they really come from. They won't tell you about the safety net that sits in security beneath them. They won't tell you how they did it to themselves. But the past is the past. Nobody can run from it forever. And the numbers don't lie. And even if they can't deny guilt, once you've thrown their mimosa tabs and aluminum laptops in their face, they would still say it wasn't their fault, that they didn't know better. They would still say they were told whole lives that they did what they were supposed to do, that they would end up safe and sound. Or the people who said this. When was the so-called speech they gave? Where did this happen? Who wrote it down? What did it say? They don't exist and doesn't exist. They don't know about you, folks, but I don't feel sorry for them. And since you wouldn't be in this room unless you were at least a little bit like her, I'm going to have to say it. I don't feel sorry for you. We don't need to feel sorry for ourselves. We don't need to feel anything. What we need to do is stop talking, stop complaining, and actually do something about the messes we're in. Tonight, that is exactly what we're going to do. Manipulate the desperate and unemployed. Seems like family wishing crowd tonight. Lots of sad single people. I'll swap things around so it seems like that part is the grand finale. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to begin by telling you that I've learned one thing. It is this. Money is not the most important thing. It's the only important thing. Right? Nothing that was ever not about money was not about money. Not even the things that seemed to come close. You show me any good in the thing in this world, anything at all, and I'll show you why it doesn't mean a gosh darn thing without money. Alright. Play the game again. Let's go over here. Oh, he wants family last. Lie about life. What is life without money? Life without money is a lie. An endless exhaustion. 6 jobs or no jobs. Cars decline, minimum wage clerks who stare you down like a leper. Creditors will call day and night, melting resistance of pennies on the dollar. The realization that most people consider your security suffering to be more of an impolite imposition than anything else. What kind of life is that? Alright, we lied about that. Lie about love. What is love without money? Love without money is a lie. A sad F in the woods. The bitterness of someone who realized they misplaced their faith, that they're never going to make it, no matter how much they believe in you. Parties you go to where they start looking around for someone else, someone who could take them places, who could build something with. Nothing but betrayal waiting to happen. What kind of love is that? Hope. Oof. What is hope without money? Hope without money is a lie. An empty threat in an echo chamber. An aristocrat who respects your pronouns and your petitions while they pay you in nickels to shovel dog crap. The journalists who mine you for tragedies for more than you'll ever resolve them. What kind of hope is that? Lie about respect to the arts. Boy, I wish I could play the piano. The way you can let a silent moment hang while you drink water is perfect. It's like free dramatic pause. Nobody can accuse you of having it contrived. You want to save it for exactly the right time. Actually, I guess now is fine. Where did I leave my car keys? They must be in the dressing room somewhere. Did I lock my car again? No, they must be in the dressing room somewhere. Oh, I think this left to go too long. What was I saying? Oh, yeah. And what is family without money? Family without money is a lie. Family without money is nothing. Family without money is a father who can't take you fishing, but not to the dentist. The kind of family functions only so long as credits can roll an hour later. For those charged with protecting it, family without money is a moral failure, one that can never be erased. The cliffhanging hand that slips away from your grasp. Future that falls away. And what happens to families like that? To people like you, I've got good news and bad news. Bad news, you have no future. Good news is that there is no future. The light at the end of the tunnel is not the end of the tunnel. Your mothers and fathers, your brothers and sisters, your sons and daughters, they're looking to you. The clock is turning every time you see them. One more moment passes before it will be your turn to be one who is depended on. And you know what you have to do. You gotta take a chance on the only thing you got left. But will you have the courage to do it? Or will you keep on going on little you still have without it somehow with it? But will you have the courage to do it, or will you keep going as if the little you still have without it will somehow last forever? Will you keep standing in that house, staring out that window? Or will you wake up, take control of your life, and make the sacrifices that could save them all? Rituals by Sara Stone. Well, this has been a depressing modern era game about lying. I think it's very well made and touches on some very powerful points in modern society. I cannot tell you this game is fun to play because it's all very depressing, but it does tell a good story and it's worth checking out. I will probably continue playing more of this, but for now, I need a bit of a break. Cheers.